my pride to the side. I know that the timing ain't right.
Yo, what's going on guys? In today's video we're going to be beating mid ladder with Giant Skeleton Hog. Alright, hopping in the first match, we do have Hog in our starting hand, so I'll just go with the Hog first play here, just see what he wants to do against it. And looks like he will go with the Skarmy right there, so unfortunately we couldn't predict it or something. I don't really know what any of these players are actually playing, but it should be nice to know for our future Hog pushes. We can try to like prediction, log his Skarmies and stuff like that. So yeah, this deck is like a super good defensive Hog deck. You have like Ice Wizard, you have the Giant Skeleton, also Tombstone, so you can pretty much defend anything with this deck. And also you have a pretty nice offense with like the Giant Skelly Hog pushes and also Rocket Cycle, and super nice Rocket there on defense against his Witch Valkyrie and Mini P.E.K.K.A. Like you might see me rocketing quite a few of the lone witches just because of how much damage they can deal once they pile up a few skeletons. Like even if I play a giant skeleton right on top of it, if the witch had piled up enough skeletons, it's pretty much just going to kill the giant skeleton fully. So that's kind of just like the problem of being underleveled. And also you guys probably going to want to run Rocket in this deck, like just as I'm showing this deck, instead of putting like an Earthquake or a Lightning, just because of how overleveled the players can be in mid-ladder. Like you can't even run Lightning if you want to kill witches and wizards, just because like if the Lightning's too underleveled, it won't even kill the witches or wizards. And also a super good NATO King Tower activation against his Ebar, and also a really good prediction log there in his Skarmy, as I was saying earlier how we tried to do. So really nice for us. And also the mid-ladder players are usually very predictable, so don't really be afraid to go for like prediction logs and stuff like that if you're pretty sure you're going to hit something. And yeah, I'm surprised that Ebarb actually did so much damage to our King Tower. Like we're pretty much at half health on our King Tower just because of how much damage it did. Actually even less than half health, so that's kind of crazy. If he had like a freeze or something, he probably could have 3-crowned us right there. So yeah, he's going to put a witch right there behind his tower, so I'm going to go with the Rocket on it. Don't really want to have to deal with his witches ever, and we are going to have probably a pretty nice defense against whatever he can throw at us. Like he does have the E-Barb spam here that he's going to keep on throwing at the river, but we do have Tombstone, we do also have guards, and even a Giant Skeleton whenever we need it, so I think we should be fine here. We're going to go with the Giant Skelly last second on his E-Barb, and also the King Tower is helping out quite a bit, so pretty good defense there. I'm surprised that E-Barb did so much damage to our Giant Skeleton, but that's just kind of mid-ladder life, so you can't really avoid those overleveled cards really destroying your underleveled cards. But if you play your cards right, you can still have quite a lot of outplay potential. And what I really like about this deck is that there's so much outplay potential with it. Like you have so many good options for defending, but you also have like really nice offensive options as well, so I feel like you can really beat almost any match if you play well enough. So that's what I really like about this deck. And we'll go with more E-Barbs at the river right here, but I think our Tombstone should deal with them pretty fine. And also going to go with that second Tombstone here just to make sure we get a few skeletons down to protect our Ice Wizard. And yeah, I don't really know if he can really defend our Hog Rider right here, and if he does defend, we can just go with the Rocket in his tower, and he'll play the Mini P.E.K.K.A. right there, but still not going to fully counter the Hog, and Rocket is going to come down here. So honestly, really good win there, really well played with our King Tower activation, and that will be good game. Alright, hopping in the next match, we do have Hog in our starting hand, and I'm going to just go with the first player right here. He does also go with a Miner on our tower, but not quite in the safe spot, so going to pull off a really nice King Tower activation there with our Tornado. That's why it's really good to have Tornado in the deck, just to always get those early King Tower activations, which really can help you out in a lot of matches. And also going to have to spend the guards here on his Fire Mage just because of how overleveled it is, but still going to be pretty nice for us to get those counter pushing guards, and he's probably going to force him to spend something, and he does spend the E-Wiz right there. So already off to a pretty nice start here, just getting those early Hog hits and also the early King Tower activation, always really good for us. And looks like he will go with the Golden Barrel right here, so kind of unfortunate that we had to waste our log, but I think we should be fine here. But unfortunately he goes with the Clone as well right there, so wasn't really expecting that at all. But I'm not too worried though, because we do also have our Hog Rider ready in the right lane, and he's probably going to have to defend which one he chooses to defend, but I think whichever one he doesn't defend should take most of his tower here. So let's go with the Giant Skeleton of his own, and also a Miner on defense, but Hog will still take most of his tower right there, so definitely not too worried anymore. And I think our King Tower will kind of help out at chipping down his Miner, so I'm going to go with the high Tombstone here, just to like avoid giving him any Fireball value or something like that. I'm not really sure if he's playing Fireball or not, but don't really want to give him any tower plus troop or unit value, so should be good for us right here. And I think our Ice Wizard will fully counter his Giant Skelly right there. It does take one shot on our Ice Wizard, but still pretty nice for us. And now we're going to always keep our login cycle for his Golden Barrel, so it should be pretty hard for him to break through after this, and hopefully he doesn't have like a Rocket in his deck or something like that. And I think if he doesn't have that, we should be pretty fine here. Luckily for us, like most mid-ladder players do always play their Miners in the same position over and over again, so not really too hard to predict where they're going to play it, and that should be pretty nice for us to defend his Miners. And okay, he does actually have like a level 14 Mega Knight here, so Wasn't really expecting that, but to be honest, this guy's full of surprises here, so have to really expect the unexpected. And pretty good giant skeleton here. It's pretty nice to have giant skeleton in the deck, just to like always be like a really good tank to like kill those like other tanks. They might play like Mega Knights and stuff like that, and it can even deal with those overleveled Mega Knights pretty well too, as you just saw there. And gonna get a nice rocket off here on his wizard and tower, and also gonna go with this giant skeleton Hulk. But she does go with the giant skeleton of his own once again, and unfortunately our Hulk got kind of like stuck there between the two giant skeletons, so a little bit unfortunate for us. But maybe we should be able to defend here with our giant skeleton, maybe like a tombstone of our own, but it might be a little bit hard to stop his E-Wiz behind everything, so you have to be a bit careful. But let's also go with the clone right here. Honestly, not the best clone by him, because it's going to pretty much just die to our NATO, and I probably would have NATO'd anyway, so didn't really help him out too much. And I hope the giant skeleton death bomb doesn't really hit our tower. I think it won't. And yeah, also going to go with the tombstone here, just to get a couple skeletons on his miner, hopefully take it down quicker than it would normally die. And yeah, I just have to pray he doesn't have like a rocket here or something. I'm pretty sure he shouldn't have a rocket in his deck just because of how heavy the rest of his deck is, so should be okay here. And he does also go with the wizard there behind his Mega Knight, but I'm not really too worried about it. He does also kind of waste the clone there. It just dies to our Ice Wizard enter the arena ability, and we're going to get a hog off right here. Don't really think he has any way to stop it. He'll go with the Ice Wizard right there, or I mean the Electro Wizard, but we just need like a rocket off at this point, so hopefully we can get it down before his stuff really does too much damage. Just go with the miner right here, but I think our Ice Wizard should hopefully stop it pretty well right there, and he's going to spend the Wizard there on our guards, so yeah, just going to chuck the rocket now, and that will be good game. Alright, hopping in the next match, we do have Hog in our starting hand once again, so just going to go with my Hog first play right here, see what he wants to do against it, and he'll go with the Valkyrie right here. Going to also go with a kind of failed NATO right there, not actually activating his King Tower, so that's already really nice for us. And I'm going to go with my guards here in the back, kind of splitting them up, just to make sure that his Valkyrie can't hit all of them at once. And looks like he'll go with arrows right there, so not really the spell we wanted to see, because honestly arrows are probably the best spell in the game against guards. They do super well against them, but the kind of nice thing about this deck is that we do kind of have a pretty good arrows bait between the tombstone and the guards, so should be fine for us right here. Also going to kind of pull his Royal Hog straight towards the middle with the tombstone, and we'll also go with the Rage right there, so his Royal Hogs are going to get a little bit of damage on our tower, but a super nice King Tower activation for us anyways. And we also do have a few counter pushing skeletons, so we can just kind of support it with the Hog Rider right here to see how he's really going to stop it. Let's go with the P.E.K.K.A right there, so honestly P.E.K.K.A is quite good against giant skeletons, so not really the best for us, but we do also have guards and tombstone in our deck, so I think we should be able to deal with his P.E.K.K.As pretty well right here, and we can always rocket his Royal Hogs if we have to, but I think I'm just going to go with the rocket here on his Witch and P.E.K.K.A right there. Really good rocket hitting the P.E.K.K.A as well, so it's going to deal quite a lot of damage to it. I think guard should finish off really nicely right here. He'll go with arrows on it, but honestly way too late right there, so worked out pretty well for us on defense. And now we won't have like arrows for our tombstone or something like that, so I don't really think he's really going to be able to break through at all right now until he cycles back to another set of arrows or something like that. So I'm going to go with the giant skeleton in the back right here just because he wasted his P.E.K.K.A, so I don't really think he's going to be able to stop it too well. I'm going to go with the set of Royal Hogs there in the left lane, but I think our log should deal with it pretty well, as well as our Ice Wizard here, and King Tower is also kind of helping out pretty nicely. So here's go with an Inferno Dragon on our giant skeleton. We can kind of just like NATO it off and also allow our tower to target his Inferno Dragon a little bit, and he'll be forced to spend that Valkyrie right there, but I think our tombstone should kind of do double duty right here, hitting his Valkyrie and also like distracting everything pretty nicely right there. So really good stuff for us right here. And also his Witch is actually doing so much damage to our giant skeleton, like it pretty much killed our giant skeleton single-handedly right there. So yeah, as I was telling you guys like at the start of the video, like the giant skeleton just got completely wrecked by the witches and stuff. So I'm gonna go with the prediction lock here, hoping to hit something, but even if it doesn't hit anything, it's still gonna get quite a lot of damage on his tower. So he doesn't end up playing anything there. He does finally get the King Tower activation, but pretty good for us just to like rocket cycle him anyways, and could be pretty hard to stop his P.E.K.K.A push right now. We don't have like a rocket to really kill his Witch, but maybe we can cycle back to another rocket right here, so not really too worried about it anyways, and gonna just log back everything and gonna cycle back to another rocket right here. So gonna deal with it pretty fine right here. Just have to hope he doesn't like pressure us too good with like a set of Royal Hogs or something like that, but I think we should be good here. Just gonna NATO back his P.E.K.K.A. Also, I think we still have to spend something on it, so I'm gonna kind of kite it with the Hog Rider right here. Just make sure it doesn't get too close to our towers or anything like that, and he'll go with another P.E.K.K.A right here. So I'm gonna stop our Hog there pretty flawlessly, but we can just go with the Tombstone to stop his Royal Hogs here. Also the Ice Wizard kind of helping out, and King Tower is also doing a really good job for us right here. So really good defense right here, and I'm gonna kind of go with these guards in the middle just to distract his P.E.K.K.A. And he doesn't have like any arrows in cycle, so he doesn't really have any way to break through right now. We can just go with the rocket in his tower, and also gonna hit his Witch here, I think, just because the guard will kind of like stop it for a second right there, just pulling it a little bit closer towards his tower, kind of like leaving it close to his tower. And he'll go with the Royal Hogs. You're going to go with like a high tombstone, just like avoiding his arrows hopefully, and the second Ice Wither does kind of help out there, so I'm going to take a little bit of damage against his Royal Hogs, but I'm not even going to NATO it just because I want to kind of go with my own Hog Rider here, hopefully get a little bit of chip damage of my own. And he will go with the NATO right there, but not going to fully stop our Hog Rider, so I'm going to get one shot there. And also going to go with the Rocket in his tower just to make sure that we can keep on hopefully dealing damage little by little, because he is going to defend pretty well with like P.E.K.K.A. and Tornado in his deck against our Hog Riders, so I think our main way of damage is probably going to be by Rocket cycling at this point, and he's going to kind of waste his NATO right there, so I'm going to go with my Hog Rider here. Hopefully he doesn't have like too quick of a reaction time on like a P.E.K.K.A. or something like that, but he does go with the Valkyrie right there and kind of messes up, so thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!